Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we will be talking about the skilled worker category, formerly known as Tier 2. As always, these videos are for your general guidance, and if you require any case-specific advice, please contact our offices. There are 4 stages to the process. The first stage is for the company to apply for the skilled worker sponsorship license. Stage 2 is operating the sponsorship management system, which involves applying for certificates of sponsorship. Stage 3 is where the company issues the certificate of sponsorship to their migrant worker, and stage 4 is where the migrant worker applies for a visa as a skilled worker in the United Kingdom. Stage 1 of the process involves the company applying for a skilled worker sponsorship license. Now, this would involve the company making an application which is submitted online, and the requisite documents, which can be found in Appendix A of the guidance, would need to be sent to the Home Office by email within 5 days of submission of the online application. If you require a list of documents in support of the application, please contact our office and we are able to supply you with the same. During the license process, the Home Office will be assessing the company to check their viability to become a skilled worker license holder. Now, this would involve assessing whether the company have a robust system in place to carry out checks and monitor their employees. The company is required to show that they are able to monitor the migrant employees' attendances and absences, as well as maintaining contact with migrants and maintaining recruitment and right to work checks. During the process of the application, the company will need to appoint people from within the business to manage the sponsorship management system. The roles that need to be fulfilled are authorising officer, key contact and level 1 user. The authorising officer must be a senior and competent person within the organisation who is responsible for the actions of staff. The key contact is the main point of contact with the UKVI, and the level 1 user is responsible for the day-to-day management of the licence using the sponsorship management system. It is important that the company already has a robust HR system and other checking services in place before the application is submitted. Once the application has been submitted and the relevant documents have been provided in support of the application, the Home Office will carry out an assessment and they may contact the authorising officer to request further information and documents. The company and the authorising officer must ensure that they are always complying with their sponsorship duties under the licence. If you require any further information on the relevant guidance, please contact our office. Once the sponsorship license has been granted, this will allow the company to access the sponsorship management system. The sponsorship management system has been created to allow level 1 users and the authorising officer to apply for certificates of sponsorship. There are 2 kinds of certificate of sponsorships, defined and undefined. If the company is recruiting from within the United Kingdom, they will be issuing an undefined certificate of sponsorship to their migrant worker, and if the company is recruiting from abroad, they would be required to issue a defined certificate of sponsorship to their migrant worker. The application can be made using the sponsorship management system, and from recent experience I found that for particular jobs such as chefs and butchers, the Home Office always requests further information and documents. An email is sent to the authorising officer and the documents must be provided within the requisite period. Once the Home Office have assessed the documents, they will then issue the company with the number of certificates that they have requested, subject to them meeting the requirements and the Home Office being satisfied that the company are genuinely seeking to recruit for that position. Once the company have been granted a certificate of sponsorship, they can move on to stage 3, which involves recruiting the migrant worker. The company will need to ensure that they carry out the requisite checks for their migrant worker before issuing the certificate of sponsorship. The process involved in issuing the certificate of sponsorship involves the authorising officer or the level 1 user to access the sponsorship management system and to prepare and issue the certificate of sponsorship. This will also involve payment of the skills charge and cost application fee. Once the certificate of sponsorship has been issued, the company can then provide a copy of this or the relevant reference number to their migrant employee. This will then move on to stage 4, where the migrant employee needs to make an application as a skilled worker. If the migrant worker is abroad, they will need to apply for entry clearance as a skilled worker. However, if the migrant worker is in the United Kingdom, they will need to make an application to the Home Office for variation of leave to remain. Migrant workers are required to satisfy the immigration rules for entry clearance or leave to remain as a skilled worker, and this involves meeting the 70 points requirements. Out of the 70 points, 50 points are mandatory, and in order to meet these requirements, the migrant worker will need to show that they meet the requirements of the job offer, skills level, and English language requirement. In order to meet the job offer requirement, the migrant worker will need to show that they've been offered a certificate of sponsorship from an A-rated sponsor, and the migrant worker will then be awarded 20 points. In order to show that they meet the appropriate skills level, the migrant worker will need to ensure that they have the relevant job code from the Home Office document, and they will then be awarded a further 20 points. Finally, in respect of the English language requirement, the level is B1, and the migrant worker must show that they meet this requirement to be awarded a further 10 points. Once the migrant worker is able to demonstrate that they meet the 50 mandatory points of the requirements, they will then need to look at the 20 tradable points. Most migrants will be paid above 25,600 or above the going rate for the job, and they will rely on option A to meet this requirement. If the migrant worker is able to meet option A, they will be awarded a further 20 points, which will make up to a total of 70 points. There are also other options under the tradable points, such as where the job is on the shortage occupation list, and we can provide you with further information if necessary. If the job is on the shortage occupation list, then the migrant worker can be paid less than £25,600 per annum. Once a migrant worker has been issued with their skilled worker visa, they can commence employment with the company. It is the company's responsibility to ensure that they are complying with sponsorship duties at all times during the process of applying for the licence and thereafter. The Home Office can carry out a compliance check at any time without any notice to the company. This can be either during the process of the application or any time after. If it is found that the company is in breach of their sponsorship duties, the Home Office can suspend the licence and carry out a further investigation. If it is found that the company have breached their licence, the licence can then be revoked. Companies must ensure that they are always complying with their sponsorship duties, and this includes carrying out right-to-work checks and maintaining the documents to show that you have carried out a right-to-work check, monitoring visa expiries, retaining all relevant documentation for both current and previous employees, reporting any significant changes to the Home Office, and monitoring employees' absences. The company must also ensure that they have a robust system in place to monitor their employees, and if you require any further advice or information on setting up a robust HR system, please contact our office. Also, if you require a list of documents or any further guidance on the skilled worker category, please get in touch. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe.